I stood there in the dusty courtyard of our family's sprawling ranch in the Arizona desert, the sun beating down like a relentless judge, casting long shadows from the saguaro cacti that dotted the horizon. My name is Emily Carter, and at 28, I never thought I'd be facing off against the man who'd stepped in as a father figure after my dad's passing. Uncle Jack towered over me, his weathered face twisted in fury, his boots kicking up red dirt as he closed the gap. Hand over the keys. Emily. Now. His voice was a low rumble, like thunder rolling in from the distant mountains, laced with that familiar mix of authority and whiskey breath. Behind him, my cousins, Luke and Sophia, lingered by the old barn doors, their eyes sharp but silent, like coyotes waiting for the kill. The wind whipped through the mesquite trees, carrying the scent of sage and old leather from the saddles hanging inside. I kept my stance steady, though my pulse raced like a wild Mustang. The grandfather clock in the main house chimed from afar, each toll marking the seconds until everything unraveled. Which keys? Uncle Jack, I asked, my tone even. Buying time. Don't mess with me. Girl, he snarled, stepping closer. I could smell his aftershave, mixed with the arid earth. The master keys to the ranch. The ones your fool of a father left you in his will. We need to lock this place down for the family's sake. For the family's sake, that phrase used to mean something to me, back when I believed in blood bonds stronger than barbed wire fences. But that was before I uncovered the water rights scams, the illegal fracking that poisoned wells, and the small towns left high and dry while we cashed in on luxury developments. I don't have them on me, I replied, which was half true. They were tucked away in Dad's old safe in the study, behind a painting of the Grand Canyon. Not that it mattered anymore. Sophia chimed in, her voice sweet as prickly pear jelly, but sharp underneath. Emily, honey, we're just looking out for you. You've been so stressed since finishing school. Maybe handling all this land is too much on your plate. I'm handling it just fine, I shot back, catching the quick look she exchanged with Luke. Then Aunt Clara emerged from the ranch house, her silver jewelry glinting in the sunlight. She'd been on edge all morning, whispering into her phone whenever I walked by. Jack, the lawyers are here. They're in the study. Lawyers on a Sunday. No less. Uncle Jack's grin was all teeth, like a rattlesnake ready to strike. Right on time. Emily was about to chat about the future of her dad's spread with us. Weren't you, darlin'? The setup was clear as day. The surprise visit. The legal eagles waiting like vultures. The family positioned to cut off any escape. 3 months back. I might have buckled. 3 months back. I didn't know about the falsified water quality reports or the drilling accidents that buried 2 workers under the guise of natural causes. Sure, I said, forcing a small smile. But shouldn't we wait for my lawyer? I texted her when I saw the trucks pull up. She'll be here any minute. Jack's jaw clenched like he was chewing on gravel. You don't need some outsider for family business. Is that what this is? I nodded toward the study, where the lawyer's briefcases lay open on Dad's oak desk, papers scattered like tumbleweeds. Luke stepped up, playing the peacemaker.
Small. Eminência.
We've put up with your eco-warrior stuff, the protests, the clean water campaigns, but risking the family legacy over tree-hugger ideals? Dad would have hated this. Mentioning my father lit a fire in my veins. They had no right dragging his name through the mud while plotting to gut what he stood for. But I held my cool, feeling my phone vibrate, a sign that wheels were turning, deals filing, their house of cards about to topple. You're right, I whispered. Dad would be ashamed. But not of me. The air in the courtyard grew thick, heavier than the summer heat. Through the wrought iron gates, I could see the vast acres my mom had loved before she passed, rolling hills where Dad taught me to ride, the creek where we'd fish at dawn. This ranch held my whole childhood, barbecues under the stars, holidays with piñatas and fireworks. But sometimes, to heal a poisoned well, you gotta drain it dry first. Let's head to the study, Uncle Jack said, reaching for my arm to steer me or shove me inside. I pulled back. I need something from my room first. 5 minutes. Emily. 5. His eyes dared me to push it. Unless you want to make this physical. I stared him down. He backed off, nostrils flaring. Luke. Go with her. I climbed the creaky wooden stairs, Luke trailing like a shadow. My fingers brushed the banister I'd slid down as a kid, back when life was simple, before I learned family could be as treacherous as a flash flood. In 5 minutes, they'd know what I'd done. Their world would crumble. But I had one more play. Growing up a Carter in Arizona meant living under a wide-open sky of expectations. Our ranch, passed down 4 generations, started as a humble cattle spread and grew into a real estate empire.
Dad.
Tom Carter took me to his office in Phoenix when I was 10, pointing to the skyline and saying, "Someday,
Inc.
you'll help build a better West." He died when I was 18, before seeing how we'd clash on that vision. The Carter fortune kicked off with my great-grandpa's mining claims, shifted to Grandpa's land deals, and boomed under Dad and Uncle Jack's developments, resorts, subdivisions, fracking ops. By my birth, we weren't just rich, we were desert royalty, names on hospital wings and university halls, staples at rodeos and fundraisers. But I was the black sheep. While Luke and Sophia chased MBAs at ASU, internships at Carterland Corp., and matches with other tycoon kids, I studied environmental engineering at UA. My rebellion was quiet at first, skipping hunting trips, grilling them on fracking runoff at barbecues, interning with the EPA over family gigs. Your soft heart will toughen up, Aunt Claire'd say, squeezing my shoulder like I was a wayward calf. Dad was different. He'd pull me aside after those meals, out by the corral. Question it all.
In even me.
He'd show me the business not to rope me in, but to arm me. Someone's got to keep us honest, he'd mutter. I didn't get it till he was gone. The heart attack hit fast, 3 months from diagnosis to dirt. Grief blinded me to the shuffled papers. The closed door meets. Uncle Jack slid into Dad's boots as head honcho. At 21, accessing my trust, I saw the will. 25% of the land holdings to me post-grad, but with hooks if I proved unfit or anti-family. It reverted to the trust Jack controlled. Trouble brewed my junior year. I protested a Carter-backed resort in Sedona displacing Navajo families and polluting aquifers. Didn't know it was ours till Uncle Jack's mug flashed on the news, calling us misguided hippies blocking progress. Thanksgiving brought the ambush. You're shaming us, Sophia snapped, her diamond earrings sparkling. You're torpedoing what we built, Luke piled on, fresh from biz school. Jack cut to the chase. Your dad gave you that stake to honor the legacy. If you can't, maybe you're not cut out for it. The threat hung like dust in the air, but I shrugged it off, thinking kin meant kin. Then came the Flagstaff file. Snooping in Jack's office for a charger.
I knocked over folders.
2 reports. Draft showing aquifer poisoning. Endangered species hits. Seismic risks from fracking. Final one clean as a whistle. I snapped pics. Heart pounding. This wasn't sharp elbows. It was felony fraud. Sickening folks. Wrecking land. confronting Jack alone, hoping for family fix. He iced me. Your dad knew the game.
Eminência. Got weak at the end.
Don't repeat it. That's when it clicked. Dad hadn't weakened. He'd woken up. And it probably sped his end. They circled wagons after. No more board invites. Locked files. Logging my instability, activism, post-dad grief. Dating a non-elite as ammo to yank my stake. But they aired assuming I flew solo. Dad left allies. Old partners wary of Jack's turns. Workers recalling ethical days. And key. Mike Harlan. His ex-partner who'd bailed rather than join the dirt. Tom was compiling proof, Mike said over coffee. Gonna purge. But the heart got him. Said you'd finish if he couldn't.
Now.
In my old room with Luke watching, I recalled Dad's last words. The land ain't the legacy.
Eminência.
Don't let him fool you. Delirious on meds. I'd thought rambling.
Now.
Crystal clear. The trap uncoiled like a sidewinder in the sand, piece by piece, until the venom hit full force. It started 4 weeks after my UA graduation. The family's sudden thaw should have rung alarms. Uncle Jack calling to congrats. Sophia sending desert blooms, my fave. A detail she'd ignored. Even Luke texting to bury the hatchet. Let's hash out your inheritance right. Aunt Clara cooed over the line. The cabin in the Rockies to be perfect. Neutral turf. Justkin honoring Tom's wishes. The Colorado cabin was our getaway. Pine forests. Trout streams. 4th of July bonfires with Eskimo rays. It felt like an olive branch. A rewind to pre-feud days. I nearly skipped, but Mike Harlan nudged. Scope their play. He slipped me a card. Grace Thompson. Top estate lawyer in Denver. Worked for Tom. Call her. Grace was no good OL boy attorney, straight shooter.
No fluff.
Competency clause in the will, she laid out. Papers fanned like a poker hand. But here's the kicker. Voluntary sign-away shifts it to the trust. No takebacks. So they're pushing a willing handover? Cleaner than unfit ruling, less mess, less fights. She tapped another spot. Sunset clause. Holds 6 months post-grad. Competency expires. Full ownership. 6 months? Grad was fresh. They're on the clock. Grace nodded. Moves imminent. The Rockies weekend played picture perfect. Grilling steaks on the deck. Hiking trails. Even horseshoes like old times. If not vigilant, I'd miss the act. Their nudges on my burnout. Need for family backup. Papers surfaced Saturday night. Post beers. Guards presumably low. Just formalities. Jack slid them over. Tax tweaks on the holdings. All signing. Tabs flagged signatures. Front pages droned finance speak to bore you blind. But page 14. Voluntary asset transfer. Was the snake I'd forfeit for a $60,000 yearly stipend. Peanuts against the millions in land value. My lawyer needs eyes on this, I said calm. Room chilled like a sudden squall. Lawyer? Sophia's laugh cut glass. We're blood.
Eminência.
This eases your load. Load, I don't understand? I set my bottle down. Like Flagstaff's bogus water reports. Silence dropped heavy as lead. Jack flushed crimson. You ungrateful. Jack. Clara cut sharp. Luke salvaged. You're twisting it. Business means tough calls. Tough calls? That's fraud lingo now. Gloves off. You're holier than thou, Sophia hissed. Preaching green while riding dirty money. At least I'm fixing it. What have you done but shop and schmooze? Jack rose. Chair scraping. Sign or face the desert alone. Meaning, his sneer chilled. Certain acts scream instability. I left that night. documents pocketed. Driving back under starlit skies. Grace reviewed. Classic pressure. But with sunset nearing, they're desperate. I dug deeper with Mike's help, uncovered more. Bribes to waterboards, ignored seismic faults causing sinkholes, communities with tainted wells leading to health crises. Back at the ranch, I played compliant while plotting. Hired investigators discreetly. They traced funds to offshore accounts. Emails admitting cover-ups. Dad's old journal surfaced in the attic. Entries on his suspicions. His plan to blow the whistle before his heart failed. Jack's gone rogue, he wrote. Gotta protect Em. She's the honest one. The showdown brewed. They called a family meet at the ranch, but I was ready. As lawyers prepped in the study, I slipped upstairs, Luke shadowing. In my room, I grabbed not keys, but a flash drive of evidence. Downstairs, tension crackled like dry lightning. Time's up, Jack barked as I returned. Keys or consequences? I met his gaze. Consequences like what? Like the psych eval you lined up? His eyes widened. How? Doesn't matter. I know about Dr. Ellis. The $150,000 to declare me unfit. The room froze. Sophia paled. Luke shifted uneasy. You're bluffing, Jack growled. Am I? I pull my phone. Played a recording. His voice.
Clear.
Ellis'll sign the hold. 72 hours in Desert Springs Clinic. She'll crack. Lawyers exchanged looks. One whispered, "This changes things." Chaos erupted. You recorded us? Sophia shrieked. Family business. Business poisoning wells? Burying accidents. I countered. Luke broke. I didn't sign off on that.
Shut it, Jack snapped.
But cracks showed. Grace arrived then, flanked by 2 EPA suits I'd tipped. MS. Carter's cooperating with federal inquiries, she announced. Water fraud. Environmental crimes. Evidence mounts. Jack laughed bitter. She's delusional. Grief struck since Tom died. But Grace laid out docs. Tainted water tests. Victim statements from Bisbee families with kids sick from lead. This ain't delusion, it's felony. Aunt Clara crumpled. Jack. Enough. Tom's journal. He knew. The EPA agent. Harlan's contact. Stepped up. Cooperation now means deals. Fight. And it's prison. Sophia folded first. I'll talk. Luke followed. Me too. Kids come first. Jack raged. Traitors. But Clara urged. Sign.
Jack.
It's over. He deflated. Scribbling confessions. With each, Carter land teetered. Agents collected papers as they left. One pulled me aside. Your dad'd be proud. He started this file before passing. Jack overheard.
Scoffed.
Proud? She wrecked us.
No, I said.
I wrecked your mess. Dad's vision, sustainable land, community care, that's what rises. They filed out silent. Sophia paused. Worth the loneliness.
Ain't.
I thought of healed wells. Safe kids. Absolutely. Next morning, news hit. FBI raiding Carter HQ in Phoenix. But twist Jack on TV. Decrying my instability. Waving forged therapy notes. Grief broke her. This is revenge fantasy. Phones blew up. Reporters swarmed. Grace advised. Lay low. But I drove to the Arizona Republic. Meeting reporter Sam Ruiz. Corruption hound for 15 years. Story for you, I said, handing USB. Records. Recordings. Dad's letter fearing sabotage. He listened to Jack's tape. Clinical breaker. Holy. More. 47 illness cases in Bisbee tied to runoff. Bribes. Dad's note. Jack's crossing lines.
Protecte eminência.
Why hold back? Sam asked. Dad was dying. Thought's silence shielded me. Truth crushed him.
Sam typed furious.
They'll smear you.
Letting.
Truth's tougher. By noon, story dropped. Carter Air targeted for psych hold after exposing water poisoning. Recordings viral. Victim docs damning. Video statement. I'm Emily Carter. My family's firm poisoned the West for profit. When I fought, they tried silencing me. Verify it all, I'm sane. Just done with lies. AG launched probes. Banks froze assets. Jack's counterpress flopped. Reporters grilled with evidence.
Dr.
Ellis confessed. $150,000 for false hold. Violated my oath. That night, in Dad's study, Grace, Mike, EPA folks gathered. Jack's passport seized, Grace said. Flight risk. Mike. Luke's spilling more, his own backups. Doorbell, Clara. Looking worn. Tom called before dying, she said. Said you're strong enough to fix this. I hid his letter, angry. But you earned it. Envelope yellowed, Dad's hand.
De arresting.
If reading, you did what I couldn't. Chose right over easy. Sorry, leaving the fight. But knew you'd win. Land's just dirt. Legacy's justice. Safe communities. Love.
Proud.
Watching. Dad. Tears flowed.
Cleansing.
6 months on. I stood in the ranch courtyard where Jack had demanded keys. But, transformed, now the Carter Center for Water Justice, a hub for environmental advocacy in the Southwest. Pike Environmental. The buyer I'd chosen, honest operators, had rebranded, funding cleanups and community aid. I was there for the ribbon cutting, watching families from Bisbee and Flagstaff tour grounds where my kin once schemed. Jack awaited trial on 29 federal counts, bail denied after non-extradition searches. Sophia decamped to Mexico, denying knowledge, but signatures betrayed her. Luke plea-dealed, 18 months minimum. Probation, explaining to his kids why Dad missed Little League. Clara turned state's evidence, her record-sealing cases. She lost fortune but gained freedom. Maybe conscience. Emily, a voice misses. Ramirez, whose daughter battled kidney issues from tainted water, holding a yucca plant. From us all for your sacrifice. Didn't sacrifice what counted, I said, accepting. Just cleared the poison. Ceremony started, Pike spoke. $40 million fund for victims. Then invited me, Emily Carter, whose bravery sparked this. Unprepared, I faced the crowd, hurt families, ex-employees, reporters. Dad said land ain't legacy, impact is. Carter's harmed under progress, guys.
Today,
we rewrite, clean sites, cared for folks. Reminder no one's above law or decency. Post-event, Mike nodded approval. Grace grinned. Fees waived. Seeing Jack cuffed? Priceless. In the desert quiet, I pocketed Dad's letter. Lost family. Status. Old money shunned me from galas. Ranches. But gained peace. Respect from real folks. Phone rang. Sam Ruiz. Jack's pleading. Full confess for leniency. Accept. Doubtful. Victim evidence heavy. Hung up. I sat by the now clean creek Dad, and I fished. A family picnicked nearby. Kids splashing safe water, thanks to scandal-spurred regs. Evening. My Tucson apartment, law school funded by remnants. EPA offer. Consultant on corp enviro crimes. Desk held Bisbee thanks. Photo of Dad and me at grad, smiling, peaceful. Unknown text, journalist in Nevada probing mining runoff. Need your insight, replied. Details? Carter Empire dust. But Emily rising. Yet, the story softened at edges. Months post-sale. A letter arrived, not legal. Personal. From Luke.
Post-plea. Inc.
Sorry for blindness.
Kids ask about you.
Maybe someday. Family again. Ignored at first. Anger fresh. But at center opening, Clara approached post-speech. Not just letter. Tom wanted reconciliation if possible. Jack's poison spread. We all drank. Eyes met mine. Forgive?
No.
But understand, yes. Weeks later. Coffee with Luke, neutral diner. I documented for protection, he admitted. Feared Jack turning on us. Why not sooner? Family loyalty, twisted. We talked hours, shared memories, regrets.
No hugs.
But seeds planted. Sophia emailed from afar. Watching news, proud. Strangely. Miss the old days. Replied brief. Old days were lies. Build new. Even Jack. Pre-trial. Sent word via lawyer. You won. Maybe Tom was right.
No apology.
But crack in armor. Center thrived. Workshops on water rights. Aid for Navajo lands. My talks on corporate accountability. One evening. Mentoring a young activist. I shared Dad's words. Question everything. Fix what's broke. Driving home under stars. Lesson clear. Revenge burns hot. But redemption cools. Heals. Family fractures. But with truth. Can mend, not same. But stronger. I'd torn down to rebuild. Learning forgiveness tempers justice. That humanity lingers even in villains. The desert wind whispered approval, carrying sense of renewal. But the path wasn't straight. Flashbacks hit, Jack's rage. Family's betrayal, like monsoons flooding arroyos. Therapy helped. Unpacking grief layered with deceit. You chose integrity, counselor said. That's strength. Volunteered at Bisbee Clinic. Seeing recoveries, kids playing without pain. Mrs. Ramirez hugged. You gave hope, worth every loss. One dawn. Hiking canyons Dad loved. I scattered symbolic ashes, not his, but old resentments. Sun rose golden, illuminating paths forward. Center hosted Family Day, ironic, given minds shatter. Luke attended with kids.
Tentative.
Aunt M, his daughter asked. Heart swelled. Yeah. Kiddo. Sophia visited months later. Post-divorce. Fled to escape. But truth followed. We walked ranch trails. Tears mixing with dust. Can we start over? Slowly, I said. Truth first. Jack's trial loomed. Testified calm. Actions had consequences, not just legal. Human. He met my eyes in court, defeated. But not of respect? Sentence, 15 years. But with remorse credits. Letter came. Time to reflect. Tom's girl did good. Redemption's arc bent slow. But bent. Family scattered. Regathered in fragments, honest. Humbled. Lesson light but profound. Destruction clears for growth. Forgiveness bridges chasms. In Tucson. Building career. I mentored others facing corporate Goliaths. Fight smart, I'd say. And leave room for healing. Dad's legacy lived, not in land, but lives touched. Waters cleaned. Bonds reforged. The real turning point came not in courtrooms or headlines, but in quiet moments where humanity peeked through the cracks. After Jack's sentencing, I received an unexpected visitor at the center. It was Clara, carrying a worn photo album under her arm, the kind with faded leather covers that smelled of time and regret. "I thought you might want this," she said, her voice softer than the desert breeze at dusk. We sat on the porch swing, flipping through pages of old snapshots, Dad and Jack as boys on horseback, Mom laughing at a family rodeo, us kids building forts from hay bales. "Jack wasn't always like this," Clara murmured. "The money changed him, us. But Tom, he saw it coming." I nodded, tracing a photo of Dad teaching me to lasso. "He tried to warn me." She closed the album. "I'm selling my share of what's left. Proceeds to the fund. It's not enough, but it's a start." For the first time, I saw her not as an enabler, but as someone trapped in the same web, pulling threads to free herself. That gesture sparked others. Luke, out on parole after serving time, started volunteering at the center, teaching sustainable farming to local kids. "Making amends," he said one afternoon, dirt under his nails from planting native seeds. His own children joined, wide-eyed at stories of Andem's big fight. It wasn't easy. Trust rebuilt like a dam after a flood, stone by stone. But watching his daughter help test water samples, I felt a warmth that revenge never brought. Sophia returned from Mexico, broke but unbowed. She'd started a small ecotourism business in Baja, guiding hikes while educating on conservation. "Your stand woke me," she admitted over coffee. I was blind to the cost. We didn't hug, scars lingered, but we planned a joint workshop at the center, blending her trails knowledge with my engineering tips. "Family project," she joked.
The good kind, I replied.
Even with Jack incarcerated in a federal pen near Yuma, there was a fragile bridge. Through letters, guarded at first, he reflected, "Prison strips illusions." Tom's death. I pushed too hard. "Regret it." I wrote back honest. "Actions hurt many. But change is possible." He donated his commissary funds to victim aid. A small act, but real. The center became my anchor, buzzing with activity, seminars on fracking laws, partnerships with tribal councils for land restoration, even art therapy for affected families. One session, a Bisbee elder shared stories of sacred waters poisoned, then healing. "You didn't just expose," he said. "You invited us to mend together." My EPA role expanded, consulting on cases across the West, from California aquifers to Colorado rivers. Testified in D.C., pushing bills for stricter oversight. Corporate greed isn't inevitable, I'd argue. Accountability breeds innovation. Personal life bloomed too.
Met Alex,
A hydrologist at a conference, kind eyes. Shared passion for clean streams. Dates were hikes, not galas, talks deep on ethics, not empires. "You're a force," he'd say.
no ruse.
But hope flickered like campfire embers. Flashbacks eased, replaced by purpose. Therapy unearthed, betrayal cut deep, but choosing mercy over malice healed deeper. "Humanity's messy," counselor noted. "Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's freeing." A year post-trial, family gathered, not at ranch, but neutral Sedona cabin. Luke barbecued, Sophia shared photos, Clara brought album. Jack joined via video call from prison, face lined but calmer. "Proud of the center," he said. Awkward laughs.
Tentative toast.
Not perfect, but progress. Lesson crystallized. Revenge satisfies momentary. Redemption endures. In destroying the corrupt shell, I uncovered hearts capable of change. Family isn't blood alone. It's choices toward better.
Nights.
Stargazing from my balcony, I'd whisper to Dad. We did it together. The West's vast sky answered in silence, full of possibility. But challenges persisted. A new case hit, similar firm in Utah, poisoning groundwater.
I dove in?
Evidence mounting like storm clouds. Ready for another round? Alex asked. Always, I grinned. Center hosted annual gala, not glitzy, but communal, potluck. Stories shared around fire pits. Mrs. Ramirez spoke. Emily showed even giants fall and rise kinder. Luke pulled me aside. Thanks for second chance. Sophia nodded. We're better for it. Clara, now board member, added. Tom's smiling somewhere. As embers died, I felt whole, not vengeful victor, but bridge builder. The drama faded, humanity shone. In those rebuilding months, I often wandered the old ranch trails, now part of the center's preserve. Footsteps echoed memories, Dad's lessons on respecting the land. It's loaned, not owned. Jack's greed had twisted that, but our collective turnaround honored it. One trail led to a restored spring, water clear and bubbling. Sat there, journaling thoughts. Betrayal's pain taught vigilance, forgiveness, resilience. Shared excerpts in center newsletters. Inspiring others. Alex and I collaborated on a project, mapping safe aquifers for rural towns. Your story fuels this, he said. Blossoming romance added layers, vulnerability after isolation. Jack's letters evolved, books on ethics he read, regrets detailed. Mentoring inmates on business right. Surprising growth. Family therapy sessions. Virtual with Jack. Unearthed roots. Grandpa's pressure for success bred cutthroat ways. Breaking cycle, Clara said. Gala night. Awards given to community heroes. I received one, humbled. Speech. This isn't my win, ours. From ashes of wrong,
we grow right.
Lesson. Humanity persists. Choose to nurture it. Post-gala. Under stars. Group hug, imperfect. Real. The culmination wasn't a single event, but a tapestry of mended threads, weaving a new family fabric stronger for its flaws. 2 years after the sale, the center had expanded, satellite offices in Nevada and New Mexico, training programs for young engineers like I once was. I led one, mentoring a group of diverse kids, tribal youth, inner-city dreamers, on detecting environmental fraud. Question boldly, I'd echo Dad. Act kindly, Luke. Fully reintegrated. Ran operations, his biz smarts now for good. Redemption's work, he'd say. Organizing cleanups where old Carter sites once polluted. His family thrived. Kids called me Aunt M without hesitation, drawing pictures of superhero water savers. Sophia flourished in her eco-tours, partnering with the center for educational trips. From boardrooms to backcountry, she quipped. We co-authored a book, Wells of Truth, a family's journey from corruption to conservation. Proceeds funded scholarships. Launch event brought tears, shared stage. Hugging genuine. Clara, retired but active, gardened at the center, planting healing herbs. Nurturing life, she explained. Her testimony had been pivotal. Now, she counseled victims on resilience. Forgiveness freed me. Jack's release neared, time served with good behavior. Pre-release. We met. Prison yard. Awkward but honest. You saved us from ourselves, he admitted, eyes misty.
Tom de approve.
No full absolution, but understanding. He joined the center post-release as speaker, warning on greed's pitfalls. From villain to voice, reporters dubbed. My life balanced. EPA consulting. Center leadership. Budding family with Alex. We married quietly by the restored spring. Vows promising integrity. First child on way. Named after dad. Challenges arose, new scandals. But armed with lessons, we tackled. Team effort became mantra. Anniversary of showdown. Family reunited at ranch, now center. Barbecue. Stories. Laughter. Jack raised glass. To Emily for tearing down to build up. Clara. To humanity's spark. Luke. To second chances. Sophia. To truth. I added. To Dad for planting seeds we grew. Under desert stars. Peace settled deep. Drama storm passed. Calm revealed growth. Article of faith. Even deepest betrayals yield to compassion's light. The West taught endurance, our saga. That redemption's the truest legacy. In mending, we found not just survival, but thriving together. Final reflection. Years on, looking back, the revenge impulse faded like old scars. What endured? Bonds reforged, communities healed, a world slightly fairer. Lesson gentle but etched. Choose justice with mercy. Family evolves through truth. Dad's words echoed eternal. Land's just dirt, legacy's love. Word count, 978, expanded with more scenes. Added, one pivotal night. Storm hit, literal monsoon flooding old polluted sites. But center's barriers held, symbolizing resilience. Gathered inside, sharing fears, dreams. Jack via call, weather it together. Bond strengthened. Child born, Thomas. Eyes like Dad's. First words, water good, legacy lived on.